Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. I don't know if I saw this in a movie one time, and I don't remember what movie it was, but it's where one side dumps a whole bunch of information on the other side in a lawsuit, and you just have to go through the boxes and boxes and boxes to try and find that one little piece of evidence that the other side doesn't want you to see. So my next guest is actually a longtime friend, Michael Holmes. He is the CEO of Platinum Intelligent Data Solutions, or Platinum IDS. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, I don't remember what movie that was. Maybe you do, but
Probably The Firm.
Was it The Firm?
Yeah.
Was it Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is this common? I mean, does this happen all the time?
Well, that's usually how it used to happen. Now it's instead of paper, it's more of digital, and it's terabytes of data now.
Really?
Yeah. It's we used to have hundreds of boxes and about 3,000 pages per box. Now it's 14,000, 15,000 pages per gig.
Oh my goodness! And is that really part of the game? Like, if I'm the prosecution and I know I have to turn over all of this stuff to you, I'm just going to make it as hard as possible.
Oh well, that's kind of like trying to find the needle in the haystack, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to hide as much information as possible from the other side. So they'll have to spend as much money as possible to find that one piece of paper that basically says, hey, I found that needle in the haystack, here it is.
Got it. Okay, so tell us how your company rides to the rescue.
So when our clients get us involved, basically what we do is we forensically collect data from all types of media, from cell phones, tablets, PCs, the internet, and then basically what we do is we call that data down, we dedupe it, denesting, and a denesting would be kind of like, think about a penny in your pocket. You really don't feel that in your pocket, but if you have thousands in your pocket, it weighs you down. So we basically take that out, like your signature page, like your Facebook and your LinkedIn, those little icons on there. So it all adds up. So we charge by the gig. So basically we're trying to help reduce the cost for our clients.
What does it feel like when you help find that one piece of evidence that helps your client win their case?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I've worked on some of the largest lawsuits that's ever been in the world, and it's fantastic when you're going up against Apple or Microsoft, or you're helping out Johnson & Johnson, or
Right.
I'm on the Horizon, the Deep Horizon case also. I mean, these cases are worldwide known, and I'm here in Dallas working on these cases all the time.
Wow. You and I were talking in the hallway before the show, and you mentioned Hillary Clinton and the whole email gate. And could your company have helped?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When the FBI says, oh, there's too much data, it'll take us 20 years to go through. Well, we would take AI, so artificial intelligence, and we would train our data or our seeding, the seeds for it, and we would apply it to the millions of pages out there, and we would cull it down really quick.
Wow. You and I are both members of EO, and it's an organization that really supports entrepreneurs. I'm fascinated by people's success stories. How did your company begin?
So I actually started on 9/11/01 is when I opened my doors up, and people kind of said, did you mean to do that? I was like, yes. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to start my business today without a business plan and, have a location. So yes, it took us 6 months to kind of go through, and we decided to start on 9/11. And we literally I was like going, oh my gosh, this is happening. And I was like, well, if I don't do it today, it'll never happen. But when we started, we just started back in, almost 16 years ago. It was just copying documents. Then we got into the scanning of the documents, printing of the documents, then collection, processing of that, which is e-discovery, and then a learner review platform that's online. So we host, thousands of cases on any given day, that we have hundreds or thousands of attorneys in our system reviewing documents.
In terms of building your business, what were your biggest regrets? What would you have done differently?
That's a great question. I think probably hiring a little bit slower and firing a little bit faster. We're all based upon customer service, and I don't know if I have any regrets at all. But I think that doing the right thing always is very important for us. The way that we hold, like, I don't consider myself the boss, I'm the coach.
That's
I
cool.
don't have employees. I have people on my team.
Cool.
So what we do is we try to make sure that it's kind of like a sporting event, right? So I call the plays, they execute, our clients are happy, and it's more, I guess, a well-oiled engine than it is on my competitors, because I always hear, these bosses are treating them really bad, or they have to work overnight. We kind of are a 24/7 if our clients need us to be.
What's your advice to people who have a 9 to 5 and they say, I'm just going to become the next Mark Zuckerberg and I'm going to do this? And not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say good luck. You're not going to make it. I work 17, 18 hours a day usually. You get up, I'm at work right about 8 o'clock, and I leave 5 to 6 o'clock. But usually I'm doing things after work as well. Networking is really important for me, and also giving back to the community. I help out a lot of nonprofits. I'm in on several different boards. I've raised millions of dollars for them, which is really important for me to give back to the community. I just think it's doing things where people go, oh, I can start my own business. If they don't have the fortitude of, burning both candles at both ends all the time, they're not going to make it.
Anytime I have a fellow EO member on the show, I want to give a shout out to EO. What would you say to somebody who's listening, who's got a company, they meet the requirements of EO, and they're thinking about joining? What describe
I would
the
say do
organization.
it.
Yeah.
I've been a member for 14 years now, and it's been one of the highlights of my career is being associated with other members as you and other entrepreneurs. It's a different breed of people that you hang out with. We have 167 members in the Dallas chapter, and I'm friends with just about every single one. They're some of my best friends in this organization. Because when you have issues with somebody, or you're feeling bad about something, or something's coming up, sometimes you can't go to your team, your employees, and going, I have a problem,
Right.
So you have to let that out by the people that are, that kind of have the same attitude towards business. And I think that's what EOS is all about, is building that safe place where you can talk about your family, your business, and your personal life.
Yeah, and I'll put in my 2 cents. It's been one of my best moves in terms of being around mentors and peers and people who can validate that you're not going crazy.
That's true. Well, even if you are a little crazy, they'll hold you down a little bit. So
that's right. Let's talk more about your company. What do you see in the future? It seems like every couple of years, technology continues to just speed along. I just think about in the last 10 years, even the phrase "the fax machine."
Oh yeah.
What's
a fax?
What's a beeper?
Yeah, I can't believe people go, "What's your fax number?" I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Is that an 8-track tape or something? But I'm glad that you asked me that, because what we've been doing for the last 2.5 years is basically creating our own e-discovery software. It's called Cullable, and what it does is basically automates the e-discovery process. So what took an attorney, when you have an issue with, or their client has an issue, and they say, I'm either getting sued or I want to sue somebody for whatever it is, the attorney goes, well, what's your evidence? And they go, well, I have some here, I have some my emails, I have it on this drive, I have it on this phone. And sometimes that takes days, weeks, or months to get. By that time, sometimes the case will go cold, or the attorney gets involved with something else, so has to push it off. So he's not taking care of his client right then.
Right.
So what our software does is basically it automates all of that process. And so the attorney can really send a link out and have their client open up that link and then start selecting that data right then and there. And so basically you can get their answer immediately and within minutes, instead of like that month period.
Wow. This is a question that just occurred to me. I know often there's conflicts where if you've worked for one law firm and
Correct.
you can't work for the other side, or does that ever come into play?
If as far as the conflict goes, not really for us, except if we're actually working on a case, we can't work on both sides unless both sides agree. So what we usually do on that instance is we can split the costs. If we have one database, one side the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. So we'll put up an ethical wall.
Right.
So our employees, our project managers, our team members don't work on the same case.
Got it.
So that way they can still take care of both sides, but they share the cost. But the database is set up. We can have permissions, kind of like think of a pegboard.
Mm-hmm.
So each hole in those pegboards are permissions. We can turn them on or turn them off as we see fit. So one person can only maybe review documents, but they can't do anything else.
Got it.
And so other people can print, or they can like tag hot docs or privileged documents, but that's all they can do. So we can set the parameters and security up very easily.
How crowded is your space? Is there a lot of competition?
Well, that's a great question also. So give you an example, 7 years ago, we had over 60 competitors just in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. Now we have 7.
Really?
So it's been consolidated really, really fast.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's both. I think it's great for, it weeds out the people that don't give good, customer service or good products back to their clients. But it's also bad for the fact that it's community or commodity based now. So you're driving the cost down. So it's harder and harder to make a profit, except for slashing your prices, and we're competing against pricing now. So that's why we've created our own software to diversify ourselves.
Got it.
So every single year and a half, we basically bring in another service so we can diversify and so we can keep up or basically stay ahead of our competition.
Well, so it does seem like that proprietary software sets you apart, does it not?
It does. I'll give you an example. So some of the technologies that we use on a regular basis is OCR documents and PDF. They haven't been, touched in 10, 12 years. So what takes one machine to OCR documents, it takes the entire CPU, 100% of it. And our system, and it might do about 10 pages a minute. Ours, the way we have ours set up, does 20,000 pages a minute.
Wow.
And it's all online. And it converts that into PDFs too, super fast. And so the e-discovery piece as well, what took us about a day and a half to process a terabyte now takes us 16 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
So you're talking about how do you basically, compete against your competition is you decrease the time amount, but also decreases your cost.
Wow. Well, Michael, I admire you. I think you're a genius.
Thanks, man.
All right.
I am right back at you.
Give us your website.
It's platinumids.com.
Awesome. We'll have to have you back.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Coming up next, for any parent, an expert joins us to talk about those sometimes difficult teenage years. That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.